guys, welcome back to my channel and another video here. Today's video topic is your favorite affordable / drugstore polishes, which is such a great topic as we are barreling headfirst towards what I believe is the third recession that I will have lived through in my lifetime. Wait, I just Googled it. This would be the fourth. That's cute. And I missed the fifth one by 1 year, so just living that recession lifestyle. But yeah, I really like when people do kind of budget or drugstore or like, these are like the cheap alternatives types of videos for just about anything, like clothes, housewares, hobby stuff, and especially cosmetics, obviously, since we are here in the nail polish realm. One issue though that I have is the word affordable, the word cheap. Those are really, really subjective. What is affordable to me might not be considered affordable to a college student, and what is affordable to me versus what is affordable to my parents who have been working much longer than me, very different. It used to be that, to me, the words drugstore and affordable were synonymous, but nowadays, stuff at the drugstore is sometimes priced almost as high as some of the kind of like prestige makeup at Ulta and Sephora. It doesn't mean anything anymore. I also think that your perception of the value of an item affects your perception of if it's affordable or not. How much you care about or utilize an item really affects how much you're gonna pay. Now, obviously, I value nail polish pretty highly. I like nail polish a lot. So my threshold for what is affordable is probably going to be much higher than the person who wears nail polish every once in a while, has a couple in a basket on her dresser, and, really only shops at the drugstore or at a salon or something like that. We don't have the same intrinsic value in that nail polish in our heads. So to me, my affordable threshold is probably going to be double what that fake person that I just described would attach to this. So I want to just get it out of the way right now. Like, here is my price range. In my opinion, in my world, in my mind, $10 or less is an affordable nail polish. That's what I consider an affordable nail polish. When I first got into nail polish, I think it was much lower than that. I can't really remember the distinct numbers, but nowadays, $10 is the top dollar that I'll pay for an affordable nail polish. Anything between $10 and $13, in my head, that's what's standard. And I think that's just because that's kind of the standard indie cost. And so I've just grown accustomed to it. I've grown used to it. And then anything above $13, I'm like, ooh, that's getting pricey. We're getting a little expensive. And so that's kind of my range. So today we're going to be focusing on affordable, which means $10 or less. And you know what's funny is that my definition of affordable, of $10, knocks out polishes that are sold at the drugstores. Not all of them, but some of the brands that are sold at the drugstore, like OPI, I'm pretty sure you can get them at the drugstore, and I'm pretty sure Essie you can get at the drugstore, at least at the ones around here. And those both retail at like $11? So we've already kicked out 2 of our contenders. So the first brand that I really like that is affordable, I feel like this is going to be pretty common on anybody's list, would be Sally Hansen. Now, Sally Hansen has 10,000 sub-brands, so we're going to be focusing on Insta-Dry because that's the one that I actively buy and have quite a number of. I think that this is the strong point for where you want to collect your creams. If you need a lot of different colors for nail art, they have a really strong cream line, just tons and tons of colors and a lot of good trendy colors. And while their bottle style is kind of awkward and not my favorite, it's pretty cheap. They do release shimmers and glitters, just not as frequently as the creams, I believe. And so that's why I say like the creams are kind of their strong suit, but there's nothing wrong with their shimmers or their glitters. I have metallics from them as well because they released them in a Crayola line that they did. And they often have really cute and fun little IP collaborations. They've done Peeps. They have done Sour Patch Kids, and like I said, they did like 4 lines with Crayola, which it's like, give me more, I'll buy them. When I tried to pinpoint the price, they seemed to be anywhere from $5 to $7, depending on where you buy them and what the collection was. But like I said, it is kind of all over the place. I didn't see anything getting close to 10, but that $5 to $7 range seems to be kind of the safe bet. I will say though, these go on sale or are heavily discounted rather frequently at a lot of the stores that I go to, CVS and Ulta and places like that. I think even Target carries them. So, it's easy to find kind of like a steal of a deal on these and walk away with several for the cost of one polish. They also have another line that I like, but I don't have too many from, but it's the Sally Hansen Extreme Wear, and that one is like $2 or $3 the last time I bought them. So if even Insta-Dry is a little too rich for your blood, check out the Extreme Wear. I'm not going to promise that either of these last forever on your nails. I do notice they are not as significant in quality as, like a indie brand that has like really high quality pigments and stuff like that. But they're great for nail art, and they're great for just a quick manicure. I don't wear polish for more than a few days at a time, so I can't speak to their longevity on all of them, but I have noticed they do start to chip a little bit faster than some of my slightly more expensive polishes. Next is Sinful Colors. Sinful Colors is kind of fun for me because they're like, hey, want to go on a scavenger hunt to 4 different Walmarts to find the one color you're looking for? They're just not as readily available online as some other brands are. I think Amazon might have some, and I know sometimes Walmart does have them online. And I think recently I saw more on Target's website. But if you want to get specific colors, older colors, things like that, it's harder to find them online, and it's just better to go into the store and, dig around in their display. Which, by the way, is literally always trashed, no matter what store I go to, no matter what time of day. I am convinced that Sinful Colors planogram just looks like that. They're like, just throw the polishes into the little cardboard thing. That'll be fine. Do it for the customer because they'll do it for you if you don't. I don't understand why people who don't put stuff back where they got it, even in your own home, just put it back. Just go put it back. It'll save you so much time later when you're wondering why it's taking you 9 hours to clean your house. Just put it away right now. A place for everything and everything in its place, and peace will wash over you, okay? I promise. I don't know. I just feel like it can't be that messy all the time and not be intentional. These polishes are around $2 to $4, depending on where you buy them from. It seemed like at Target, when I was looking online, Target seemed to have them kind of on the more expensive side, and then Walmart was a little bit cheaper, which, I mean, Walmart tends to be cheaper, but I also remember there was a time where Walmart had fake cosmetics being sold. So I was like, are these fake? No, they're not fake. I think it's just Walmart's just cheaper than Target. But for that price point, it's like spectacular because they have such a cool range. They have textured polishes. They have scented polishes. I got my first glow in the dark from Sinful Colors many, many years ago. They've done a lot of collabs. I remember like Kylie Jenner did a collab with them. Winnie Harlow, she did the fruits ones from last summer, I believe. Candy Johnson, who's like a YouTuber, did a collab. And who else? Saweetie apparently did one. Like Vanessa Hudgens. I Googled Sinful Colors collabs just to see, and I was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize they had this many collabs going on. I do have a few polishes that are a little bit on the thin side from them, but if you, like me, are a nail polish connoisseur, you can pretty much tell in the bottle when something is going to be a little bit sheerer and will need to be built up. Like I'm thinking of one in particular. I can't remember the name of it, but I'll pop a picture up, and it's very shimmery in the bottle, and you can just tell like that's going to be a little bit sheer. And I knew that going in, but you can always tell with them, I think. And for that price, you really can't beat it. Next on my list is China Glaze. Now, a lot of stockist websites, you can get these from like anywhere $3 to $5 typically. And even then, sometimes they discount them. And the standard MSRP, if you don't want to buy from a stockist website, is only like $7.50. So still well under that $10 mark. I tell you guys all the time, like I love China Glaze. I feel like they're very innovative. And while they haven't had too many hits for me lately. I still think they do a great job in doing something different when it comes to a collection and their inspiration and things like that. Like recently for their spring collection, they took very simple, safe, kind of Eastery spring colors, but they made them kind of granulated sugar texture. So even though I wasn't particularly into that collection, I like that they took kind of the standard thing that you would expect and they just put a little twist on it. And that's what I like about China Glaze. They're not afraid to do just a little tweaking here and there, and I really like that. They get some great IPs to collab with. One of my favorites is the Dippin' Dots one that they did. They had one with The Giver once, which was like, what? The Giver? Like the book, the movie, what? And pretty much every year I look forward to, like very enthusiastically look forward to their Halloween collections. My favorites being their Extra Stellar one, which came out a couple years ago and was kind of like alien and space and UFO themed. And they also had one where it was just a 6-piece all black collection. And I'm pretty sure that was the Halloween collection for that year. This one sits in a weird place for me because it's funny. I remember going to salons with my mom when she would get her nails done when I was a kid. And the China Glaze and the OPI would be sitting right next to each other. So like this is a salon brand. This is technically a salon brand. But it's so much cheaper. It's like $4 cheaper than OPI. And in my opinion, China Glaze is better than OPI. So it's just like the fact that they're sitting on the same shelves and yet the price difference is so drastic. And in my opinion, the quality difference is also maybe not as drastic, but different. I don't know. I just prefer China Glaze, which is the cheaper option, to OPI, which is the more expensive, which if you ask my boyfriend is a rarity apparently, because he always tells me, he's like, somehow you always manage to pick the most expensive thing that you like, even when you don't know the price of it. I'm like, I just have an eye for money, I guess. All right, the second to last one. Now, not everybody is going to have access to this brand, but I thought I would just throw it out there for the 6 states who do, because yes, I did Google it. This is Studio M, and this is the Meyer brand. And Studio M, from what I understand, is literally just private labeled Color Club. I always say, like, from what I understand, or like, I'm not sure about this, because I just feel like someday somebody's gonna be like, you're lying, misinformation, even though there's always somebody in the comments who co-signs that I'm right, that Studio M is private labeled Color Club, but I just always am just a little uncertain. So I'm like, I'm not here to spread misinformation. I'm just pretty sure. Studio M, I believe, is like $3 or $4 at Meyer. The price could have gone up since the last time I bought it, but they're fairly cheap. And there's a lot of colors that you can get from them that you can match with a Color Club shade. Obviously not the entire Color Club catalog, but a good chunk. And while I know like Color Club creams are, I think $8.50, they're less than $10. Not every polish from Color Club is less than $10. Like some of them are $10, some of them are $12. Color Club has a range of prices. So I just figure, why not just get the cheaper version? It's the same thing, right? Like it comes in a different bottle, sure, but what does that matter? You have the same paint. These ones are just such a impulse buy for me that to the point where if I go to Meyer, I'm like, we can't go down the nail polish aisle because I'm going to walk away with 3 handfuls of Studio M nail polish. So it's just like a very easy impulse buy because it's just a cheap toss it in the cart item and you just totally forget you even did it. And it doesn't hurt to scan when you're at the self-scan line. It's like, oh, $3, who cares? And finally, LA Colors. This one is kind of similar to the last one I just talked about. Another super easy impulse buy. I think these are pretty much accessible all over the United States. I don't know about outside the country, but I know that here, like at my Walmart, they're like 99 cents or sometimes $1.99 for the fancier finishes, but just such a steal. I'm not going to sit here and say like LA Colors is out here doing amazing, crazy things. I don't necessarily believe that, but they have a good variety of finishes. They have cream, they have hollow, they have these jelly flakies that I bought the whole collection of a couple summers back. So it's like, say you're like, man, jelly flakies are really big this summer. I don't know if they will be, but they should be. And say that's the case. And you're like, I really want to try them, but I don't want to spend $13 on an indie jelly flaky only to find out I hate that style of polish. Buy yourself an LA Colors, $2, $1, I don't know, depending on where you're at, and test it out. Give it a test run and then buy the more expensive one if you know you end up liking it. Or just buy the entire LA Colors line and you've got every color you really need. The other thing I like about LA Colors is the cap is the color of the polish, so they just look cute and fun together. They kind of look, I'm gonna be honest, they look like something you get at Claire's a little bit, but they're cute and they're fun and they're cheap and accessible. And you know, if you're like, man, I just want a little treat and I don't have a lot of money to blow on myself, but I just need something fun, something cool to get me through the day, because I just need a little treat every now and again to sustain myself. LA Colors is the perfect way to go. They're cute and they're fun and they're little, and I just love little things. So yeah, those are 5 brands that I think are really affordable, really great. You can get them at the drugstore, you can get them online. You know, they are pretty accessible all throughout the United States. And those are the ones that I would really recommend. And like I said, each one of those brands, they're all under $10 a bottle, most of them significantly so. So let me know down below if you like any of these brands. Let me know if you have any good, affordable, and cheap and, you know, decent drugstore or just cheap brands in general that you want to share with the class, please, so that we all can take part and support those businesses and support our ever-growing nail polish collections. I will definitely be adding whatever you guys throw at me to my wish list. But until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.